Hello everyone. I have had quite a week, and no, it's only Wednesday. So I'm going to break everything down, and I'm going to tell you what's going on, because what's going on is really hard to believe. Really, really hard. But I am going to do my best to get it all out to you. That way you have an idea of the things that I get to deal with. Well, I started getting, some thoughts put in my head, and, of course, completely by the devil. And I'll tell you this: the closer you get to Jehovah, the more you do His work. You get a bigger and bigger target painted on your back. And that target is just the number one thing that all these demons look at. They look at it so hard, and they want to know everything you know, so that way they can stop you. And my dear sweet aunt, I love her so much, talked to me today, and I got my direction again. I have my direction, and I understand what I have to do. You see, there's so much going on in the world that we get worried about it, and we end up just turning away from what we are supposed to do. Well, I had just a myriad of things just crashing in on me, and I was taking it out on the wrong people. More importantly, my wife. And I was about that close from giving her divorce papers. All because I was getting overwhelmed. Completely overwhelmed. And today, after talking to my aunt, I realized what I have to do. And what I have to do is I have to keep my eye on what the Lord has for me. I have to. I cannot give that up. Because if I give it up, then I not only do not feel the job that was given to me, there's a lot more at stake. Because none of this is about me. It is not about me at all. And, growing up, I was an only child. Well, I guess I'm still an only child. But growing up, I had my family and friends that I would go see, and stuff like that. So it's not like I was anti-social or anything. I love being around people, and there's hardly anyone that I can't be around for more than 5 minutes and they're not smiling. But it took me a lot of bumps and bruises to get here. A couple bloody noses, trip to the ER, and through all that, I've learned. And sadly, because I am so blasted hard-headed, apparently that's the way I learn. You know, I can't take the easy way because where's the fun in that? But, you know, my main objective is that Satan doesn't win. And I'm going to make sure he knows that every single day. Because I know what the book says. Yeshua wins. He comes and he completely obliterates them. And them, I mean everyone that is against him. That is a lover of lies and anything that is against the truth. He is completely against them. So, Satan dies. Satan gets destroyed. And I am so happy about that. So happy. Well, you know, that giant bullseye, that giant target that we walk around with, there's so much that comes at us. Absolutely just from every direction. And after a while, your arm gets tired holding the shield up. You know, extinguishing those darts from the devil. And remember, I told you that the closer you get to Yeshua and being obedient to him and doing what he wants you to, the worse all the darkness will try to snuff your light out. No, we can't let it. We cannot let it at all. Why? Because that's what the devil wants. He doesn't want you going around telling people about salvation or the history of why Jesus had to die. And I say Jesus, that's not his name. His name is Yeshua. And, you know, I will try to say, you know, Yeshua. But, you know, there's a lot of things that happen that you don't know, I don't know, and I'm so sorry for it being so bumpy. They're working on the road that I usually go down to go home, and so now we get stuck with this terrible, terrible road, especially after all these semi-trucks have been driving over it. So, I apologize for that. But what I would like to get down to is this. There is an entire army of darkness that is out there trying to ruin us. Absolutely just hell-bent on ruining every single person that wants to draw near to Yeshua. Every time we start getting closer, every time, they always come against us. And how do we take care of it? You know, how do we deal with it? Well, we can't. If we try devil and his little minions, we will fall every time. Absolutely every time. And I am so sorry, this is just so loud. Okay, I'm back on semi-smooth ground now. So, we have just these beings. They are spiritual beings. But they try to influence us so much every single time. All the time they try to influence us. And, I'm not saying that I'm beyond influence. Lord knows I'm not. I've fallen prey to the devil many times. Absolutely way too many times. But, the thing about it is whenever I fall, I realize, dang it, I got a bloody nose. So what do? I get up, dust myself off, care for myself, and go, all right, that's how you want to play. Well, here it goes. So, after this past week, after these past few months, while I've been, teaching and, explaining things to you, I have been going through battles. Do I win all the time? No. I don't, not at all. More often than not, I'm black-eyed, bloody-nosed, and lips swollen out to here, and it's pretty bad after I get done fighting. But all that takes a toll, and I'm not gonna say that it shouldn't, because we're dealing with the flesh. Well, like Jesus had, or Yeshua had told the apostles whenever he went up to the garden to pray before the soldiers came for him. He said, stay awake and pray with me. He left, he went to pray, and he came back, and they were sleeping. He said, wake up. Stay awake and pray with me. And they did, but they went back to sleep. He came back and he said, the spirit's willing, but the flesh is weak. Arise, here comes my, I guess the one that was going to betray him, which was Judas. See, Yeshua knows that these people were with him day and night. Day and night. They were learning from Yeshua. They were learning so much from him. And it didn't kind of kick in until after he had went back in glory to take care of his priestly duties. And that's whenever, we were given the Holy Spirit. And that was on Pentecost. Well, you see, we have all these enemies against us. Absolutely all these enemies. So how do we take care of it? How do we deal with it? As I said earlier, we cannot. If we tried to stand up against it, it would be like a 15-year-old boy that weighs maybe 100 pounds soaking wet going against Mike Tyson. And Mike Tyson's not an enormously tall guy. He's like 5'10". So he's like 2 inches taller than I am. So, not real big. But, he's been, boxing for quite a while, so yeah, he's got some muscle. So, when we tried to go against the devil, that's the matchup. That is a extremely lopsided, one-sided win matchup. With a little kid not even getting a hit. And it probably ended up being one of the quickest fights Mike Tyson ever had. And he had some fast ones. But, you see, it's not our battle. It is not our fight. You see, the devil wants one thing. He wants everyone to worship him. Absolutely everyone. And by worship, I don't mean, someone going to church. See? This always happens. I start, getting into some good stuff, and I start yawning, and I don't stop. And it's not because I'm tired. I'm actually pretty wired up right now. But it's the devil doesn't want me to talk about this because it's extremely dangerous to what he's trying to do. So we can see that the devil doesn't like us at all. He is trying to drag each and every one of us down. So much so, in fact. Hold on a second, I can need some water. Yeah, try it. But he is trying so hard to get us to where our mind is not on Yeshua. He is trying so hard. So hard. And, excuse me a second, I got to plug my phone in because it's about to die on me. So, yeah, the devil is trying so hard to get us to where we are not thinking about the Lord. He's trying so hard. And, he will throw things in your path. Throw them and, instead of laying them in a nice neat order where we just walk up and deal with them, he strews everything about. And, it ends up causing just a mess. We can handle the situation, but it's just going to be really, really messy. Well, as I've said, we cannot handle this fight alone. But this fight is not ours. You see, the devil wanted to be worshipped like you know. That's all he wanted. He wanted everyone. And I mean everyone. Not just, people. He wanted Jehovah to worship him. So that he would be sitting on the throne. Well, thankfully, oh my Lord, thankfully, Yeshua didn't do it. He did not bow. He said, for it is written, you shall worship no other God other than Jehovah, and you shall have no other God before him. And then he told him to get away. And the devil left. But why? How is that? How was he able to just say, get away? Pretty much, just leave me alone. you're not going to win. And so the devil left. What is the avenue of diversity in China? I'll tell you. And it's something that has taken me an extremely long time to understand. I told you that this battle is not ours. It is not. It is between Jehovah and the devil. He's our adversary. He wants nothing more than to conquer us and destroy us. And that means that we have to be destroyed with him because he's already getting destroyed. If he can hurt Yeshua in any way, then he thinks he's won. See? I told you. But you see, Yeshua was not just any person. He was Jehovah manifested in flesh. He had all power and authority in his hand. He could have, he had said, what? Jehovah could have, raised children of Abraham up from the rocks. Basically, don't think that you're anyone special. Just, you can call yourself Abraham's seed, but that doesn't mean nothing because Jehovah can make Abraham's children out of rocks. And it's kind of don't start thinking too high and mighty of yourself. Well, the reason why Yeshua was able to just tell all the demons, come out, go away. Yeah, you can go in those pigs over there. That's fine. And it was kind of Yeshua's way of snubbing the rabbis at the time. And there were people that will follow the rabbis, and they'll try to use worldly wisdom that's been passed down and refined and everything else. Well, I'll tell you, the only true wisdom comes from the Word. And John 1:1 says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." And I'm not going to get into trying to explain all the nuances of that, but it is a really good lesson there. Well, we can see that Jehovah he's the master. He had no beginning and he has no end. He is eternal. He was always there. He's always going to be there. Well, so back to the topic at hand. Because Yeshua or Yehoshua came with all the authority of Jehovah, because he was Jehovah in the flesh. You got no better than he did. So when he said anything to anyone, they had to listen. Because all the demons, they know exactly who he is. And they were scared to death and feared. But they were so frightened of him that they gladly did what he said. I don't know about gladly, but maybe it was they were just so frightened. They were shaking in their boots. Well, so why did they do that? Yeah, he was the creator. Because he had the authority. He had absolute every bit of authority placed under his feet. And there was nothing that did not obey him. Except man, the crowning creation that was made on the sixth day was the only one that could willfully disobey him. You see, even the devil has to go before Jehovah and ask for permission to do things. Well, not so much now. His time is now. He has been let loose for quite a while, and he's trying to destroy everything. Absolutely everything. He's trying to destroy the sanctity of marriage. He's trying to get people to turn on each other. He's filling the world with hate. Because, he knows that his time is really, really short. And it's not like he had a whole lot of time to begin with. So he's really, really mad, and he's doing everything he can to try to get you and me away from the Lord. To turn our back on Yeshua. Well, it's really sad that there's so many people that they absolutely refuse to admit their own fault. I was there, and at times I'm still there. But once I realize it, I repent of it. Because I don't want to be away from the one who has gotten me where I am today. Because he's just so awesome and amazing. And whatever wonderful adjectives you can think of, he is absolutely amazing. And he wants us to just go to him. That's all he wants, is to go down before his feet and bow our head to him. Recognize that he is the one that is in charge of everything. He's the only one that we should ever worry about. Are we doing? It's taking long, man. But he's the only one that came down. And you have to understand, when I say he came down, he left glory. And remember, Yeshua, or Jesus, is Jehovah manifested in the flesh. You can look at Isaiah 9:6, 1 Timothy 3:16, and just about everywhere else in the Bible, but those two are specific ones that it backs up that statement. And it would be like, what's a good example? That would be like President Trump coming down from his lofty position and going into your house and cleaning your toilet. That's probably the best analogy that I can give you. Why did you do it? Because before he created anything, he loved each and every one of us. He wanted each and every one of us to have the opportunity to be with him. Because, he's known us before we were even conceived. He told Isaiah that, I believe. So, he absolutely adores us. He so adores us. And, I'm not going to say that when we do something bad or we sin, that he's just up there shaking his head going, I can't believe you did that. Because he knows us. He knows exactly what we're going to do. He knows our thoughts. He knows our hearts. He knows absolutely everything about us. And so few people even stop to consider what he's done. He has made a way for us to reinstate that relationship with him. And it's sad to think about, but it's one of those things that, you need to think about these things. Because, he went through so much for us. And there's so few people that even try to understand. They refuse to try. But, if you can get just that one person to, excuse me,